set and ready to roll. Like I said, a couple of minutes late, but that's us. It happens that way sometimes. Multiple location station. In progress in more ways than one. Welcome in to Beyond Ringside, Back to Basics. I'm going to use the slogan that we used to use over here before I absconded with it over to the Shooters Gallery, where everything's on the table and nothing's off the record. I still like that. I'm going to keep it. I think I've got it trademarked somewhere. I've just got to double check. From Studio One, the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, welcoming in tag team partner, the Phenom, Phil Stamper. What's up, my brother?
Not much. How are you, sir?
Peaceful day in paradise. A little bit of sunshine, a little bit of rain. I was praying for the blizzard, but it just never happened.
The blizzard?
I was hoping for a blizzard. I figured, hey, if I can get sunshine, if I can get rain, if I can get 95 degrees all the way down to 77 degrees, I can get snow somewhere in the forecast.
No.
Speaking of forecasting, Money in the Bank's coming up. By the way, first off, thank you to everybody listening into BeyondRingside.com through the Beyond Ringside radio app, as well as ProWrestlingRadio.net, through Ustream, through the TuneIn radio app, through all the different methodologies which are available. Always greatly appreciated. Money in the Bank coming up this coming Sunday, and of course, one of the marquee matches. Everybody is, and from the internet wrestling community all the way through a lot of the people inside the business, especially all the way through WWE, they're taking a look at the way that the build has been going on for the match between John Cena and AJ Styles. And before I talk about the matchup itself, and I want to bounce this one off of you. Did you catch Raw last night?
I caught the very end.
Okay.
And I caught the Shield segment.
In the Ambrose Asylum?
Yes.
That was beautifully done. And I want to hit that one in a minute because that's going to bring me up to a great point. When Cena had the contract signing with AJ, and Cena was doing the prelude on the microphone, cutting the promo, building up the situation, I hit the floor in thanks when the almighty flagship of the WWE, not only for the second time in recorded history that I can actively remember, referenced Ring of Honor. First time for him, second time on television that I know of, other than the factor of when they were doing the CM Punk stuff on air. Because Punk himself referenced it live once, and then now Cena's referenced it. The announce team has referenced New Japan. Cena referenced New Japan by name. Not only those two, but also for the first time that I've ever heard on WWE programming from the talent mention PWG. I'm sitting back going, there is hope for this world, because normally WWE does not reference anyone. And lo and behold, when Cena actually referenced the fact that while he's been in WWE for the last number of years, winning 15 world championships, AJ Styles has been going around the world winning more than 15 world championships, I hit the floor again. Actually, I hit the floor first on that one. I just had to come out of my chair and applaud the moment, because it's like, that is something that is very rarely ever, if ever, happened on WWE programming. Let me get your thoughts on that one, brother.
You broke up the last half of what you said.
The factor that the flagship, the face that runs the place, actually referenced PWG, Ring of Honor, and New Japan during his promo.
Well, they've done a little bit of that before. They've referenced Ring of Honor a few times. I mean, they've referenced, in the last year, they've referenced Combat Zone Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, Ring of Honor, and New Japan. I would say a lot. In different times throughout the year, peppered throughout. So I'm not shocked. It's no big thing. I think they want to be like, hey, look, we are really hip to you indie wrestling fans. Gosh darn it, I can see it. Take it or leave it. Take it how you feel about it. It just kind of is one of those, is what it is. Because if you look at what they're doing on the other aspect of things, the Global Cruiserweight Series, the fact that they are so connected to different talent that a lot of the world doesn't know about yet. I'll say, and I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, and I apologize, but the fact that now they've announced the 32 people for the Global Cruiserweight Series, and there's a good chunk of people I've never heard of before in
Right.
there. I kind of like that. I like the fact that these are prominent, already connected, doing well talent that I don't know of, and it requires me to do a little bit more of research and investigation.
Yeah, I didn't know that they'd already announced all 32. That's quite. Do you remember the site, or do you remember where you found it at?
It's on WWE.com.
Oh, okay. Because I was just looking at, I just pulled a Yahoo search and it's not showing up. But I'll be perfectly cool with that concept. Series premiere July 13th, 9 p.m. Nice. But from that vantage point, yeah, I'm pretty much sure that there's going to be a lot of talk about this, because this is just, it's perfectly groundbreaking. And I had to sit back and say, after, when I was watching NXT TakeOver, I went ahead and cut to the Facebook video of Triple H being interviewed by another new face on WWE programming. Congratulations. He was making some of the references to the fact that it really seems like WWE is no longer the big kid in the corner hogging all the pie. It's like, okay, I'm coming up to the table with everybody else and I'm going to share some of this pie.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
go ahead.
so I'm very confused about something. So apparently, the WWE has been reaching out to former WWE talent about coming back to the WWE now that they're doing the brand split. That they want to bring in some recognizable folks for Monday Night Raw and on SmackDown. But that seems to be in direct contradiction to something Triple H said to talent recently about this is going to give more opportunities for more of you to be showcased and give more of you more time. That's a very confusing situation for me to go. I mean, I get it from a rating standpoint. I get it from trying to build a different or better brand identity, to try to distinguish yourselves on each of the individual shows and how you are different. But that just seems like a little bit of a slap either to Triple H or to the talent that we're trying to be fed this line.
Well, I know that there's going to be some rocky roads as far as with the brand split goes, because they started doing some cuts, and there were some cuts that I was really kind of curious about, because I hate the fact that they had cut Aaron Stevens, i.e., formerly known as Damian Sandow, because I felt that he was on a great roll. Granted, the fact that when He Who Shall Not Be Named version 2.0 had all of his difficulty come out, and that kind of like messed up the modern day knockoff of the Mega Powers, because there went Curtis Axel's character. You know, but even before that, to me, Sandow was still a very impressive in-ring talent, not to mention his work on the microphone. I mean, he completely overshadowed and outshined, well, okay, normally that's not hard to do, but just completely overshadowed and outshined Mike Mizanin when he was doing the stunt double. He took that and absolutely made it an Emmy-worthy performance. So that was just one of the people that I was surprised that got cut. But yeah, with the brand split on the horizon, with the Global Cruiserweight Classic coming up, it's just going to be one of those cases where there's going to be some serious situations where people are going to go, what the hell just happened? Mm-hmm. And I'm really looking forward to that.
What if some people get drafted to go back to NXT?
Like the Vaudevillains?
Now that's not nice.
No, okay, here's the thing, and this is me talking. I'm looking at things from a programmer's perspective. The Vaudevillains were incredible on NXT. It was a different dynamic, and they fit the mix perfectly. I've made the statement that before the brand split was announced, I sat back and said, if a brand split ever took place, they would be a better fit on SmackDown than they would be on Raw. The chemical equation and the formula in place suits the Vaudevillains on SmackDown. I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem like they're totally meshing on Raw. It may just be me. I might be wrong. I don't know. There are some people who agree with me and some who disagree with me. And feel free to take over whichever position you like.
At least they're not the Ascension.
That was botched from the get-go.
Yes.
And I'll give you this one. If they had never touched a mic, if they had gone in for the first 2 shows and done squashes with enhancement talent, never touched a mic, and then lo and behold, after the 3rd one, music hits and they go nowhere. And then all of a sudden, coming around the corner through the down the aisleway, the person that I felt was the most suited, the Sinister Minister, Father James Mitchell. I think that James Mitchell would have been a perfect fit for the Ascension. Agree or disagree?
Well, I've kind of heard that he's also had some tensions with the WWE, so I don't know if he would be welcome with open arms. But I agree. They shouldn't have been in the spot they were. I mean, I remember when I first saw a video of them way back from FCW, I was like, wow, this is like a tag team of The Undertaker. It was impressive. They showcased themselves well. They had an amazing presence, and they came to Raw in a week. They were dead.
Yep. After that first promo, done. Because when Layfield, who has normally got Vince in his ear just as much as Michael Cole does, starts going off about the way that about the promo that was cut by the Ascension, it's like, yeah, nope, shouldn't have been done. And the IWC, from what I read, nope, shouldn't have been done. That was just botched from the get-go. And I feel so horrible for them because they had such a great run down at NXT. That's the thing that always bothers me. And I want to hit this one other one real quick because I know you got a lot on the plate. And a lot has been on the plate for a while.
Yes.
From that vantage point, I have the same issue with the women's division that I've had for a while. You have a wealth of, at one time when the 4 horsewomen were all down at NXT, they had a chemistry and a flow, and that show accentuated them. When they made it up to the Great Red Monster, and I don't mean Kane, Raw, because of the show in and of itself, the dynamic is so different. The women of NXT slowly started to fade into the realm of the Raw divas. Now, granted, noted, we haven't seen a bunch of them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very thankful for that. But I see the same type stuff being done with the NXT call-ups, as I did with the old Divas division. Do you see it, or do you see something different?
I see a mix, and you know, NXT has a cool vibe to it, and their production is different. And they come to WWE, and there's literally bright lights. It looks visibly different, and that edge is gone. And so some of what made it sort of cool or so, you know, appealing in that respect kind of loses its edge. And then you get, okay, now it's a little bit more mainstream. So the product presents itself differently. You're going to hear promos that are slower and more articulate, which means a little bit slower. You're going to see typically wrestling that is also a little bit more slower and paced, which is interesting since television matches typically are 3 minutes long. You get a different product when you come to the WWE from NXT.
Right.
And I think that's a shame negatively to in how it impacts the WWE product. I really think, and you know, this is hard for me to say, and especially for people who I know who are there, I kind of think the roster needs to be cut by another 30%. I don't have names. I'm not going to go that far, but I don't think they have the kind of. I think they're still working on the model of a product that previously worked, And I think they need to be the ones pushing the envelope for whatever the next thing is. And sometimes you only challenge yourself by not playing it safe. And they are going to lose. I think they're going to hurt themselves more if they don't. And I think the Divas division is a perfect example of that. Um, and now, what is very interesting and sort of contrary to that, and now you might remember because this sort of made news on Twitter. I think last week there was a former WWE superstar who made a comment about his wife finally getting neck surgery that she could afford due to the Affordable Health Care Act, um, after breaking her neck in the WWE. But I can't remember who that was. Um, and so I'm not saying people need to go out there and go all balls to the wall where they're gonna destroy themselves, for the sake of the WWE product. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a way to showcase you're athletic. There's a way to showcase that you're entertaining that can be lost in the way WWE does their television product.
Yeah, and that's normally the way. I'm going to use one of my favorite movies. A lot can be very easily lost in translation.
Hmm.
Be-
And I think you see that in the way that television is done on Raw and SmackDown. You see things that get started that 2 weeks later go out the window.
right.
And not necessarily because anything went wrong with it, but because somebody goes, I don't think that highly of it. I mean, the Wyatt family, just I think everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong for them, and somehow the WWE universe still bites. They like them, which is why WWE uses them constantly as cannon fodder, because for some reason the fans are into them. Whoever isn't, or whoever's making these decisions that, well, we can use them to put over everybody else, you lost it. Like, I think the second you gave them the powers of the Undertaker and then pulled them away a week later, why? Why? You're showing them that they're the best loser, and I don't think that's how they should build the product or build the team.
It's really a catawampus, and I'm using my grandmother's favorite word from years gone by. It's a catawampus roller coaster, because one minute something makes sense, the next minute it's like, yeah, no.
Right.
But
I pulled that out recently too.
what,
Cattywampus
catawampus?
shenanigans.
Very nice, very nice. Now, coming over into a different realm, because I know your time is limited this evening, and I want to try to give everything as much possible spotlight as we can. Busy weekend this past week, because you had multiple appearances, brother.
Yes, I did. Both for MCW and for Grand Slam Wrestling.
Yeah, and what all happened this past Friday night at Maryland, MCW?
There was a lot. We started the night with a contract signing between Drolix and the MCW heavyweight champion Ryan McBride. Though Kevin Eck, the manager of the former tag team champions, got involved, caused a distraction with his other tag team, Guns for Hire, and unfortunately, Drolix got met with a belt swiped across the side of his face.
Wow.
So that has done nothing but piss off the leader of Black Wall Street just that much more against the king of Maryland.
Good Lord. By the way, hope everything went well at the meet and greet.
Everything went amazingly well. We had Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, who both started off. Actually, they really actually started off the night at MCW, and got things going for us. We also had Damian Sandown, now known as Aaron Stevens, Colt Cabana, and so many other members of the MCW roster. It was a great night. It's interesting to see the response from fans, and even now to still get messages days later about how much fun they had, just meeting and greeting, before they even got to the event. Just how they were entertained and how they were engaged, and that's part of it. And I think that's something that a lot of places lose in wrestling, is that it's about the engagement. It's about the fans being entertained and having something to get out of when they watch a wrestling product.
Now, I do have to go ahead and throw this one out there before we go any further. And I understand that MCW is getting ready for a new beginners class in their training center. And I believe that starts next Tuesday, right?
Absolutely. Make sure you visit our Facebook page for more information. Look up Maryland Championship Wrestling or go to marylandwrestling.com.
Now, they've got Base Brawl this coming Saturday, right?
Absolutely.
Waldorf, Maryland at the, oh Lord, any other time I can remember. It's the Regency Furniture Stadium, right?
There you go. I was waiting to see if you could pull it off. Located in Waldorf, Maryland, a tremendous venue, great partnership with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, who are helping to sponsor this event. They have been very adamant about wanting this event, having this event be in their building, that they see this as a tremendous way to engage their fan base. So this is exciting. I'm very intrigued by what this is going to bring. And you know, me personally, this is also 30 minutes from my house, so I'm very excited that it is this close to home.
Now, you're going to have everybody on this card from, of course, the ladies of MCW, Black Wall Street, Brandon Scott, the Punk Rock All-Stars, the Appalachian All-Stars, the Hellcats, Leo Rush comes back, the Bruiser, the Tag Champions, the Ectorage, along with Kevin Eck, the Rage Champion, Ken Dixon, the MCW Champion, Ryan McBride. What are some of the matches that are going to take place this coming Saturday?
Well, if I can, you forgot a couple very other important people that will be there this Saturday.
I was going to let you get to that after the lineup.
Well, there are some things that I cannot talk about because we had some slight behind-the-scenes things and contracts that we had to deal with. None of the big names, but so right now I don't have any matches that I can discuss.
Okay.
But I'm sure by tomorrow when you visit marylandwrestling.com, you will see all the latest news and information about Base Brawl. But also coming to the event and they will be on the event. This is not just a meet and greet opportunity. You will see WWE Hall of Famer Ron Simmons, Billy Gunn, and X-Pac.
Nice.
All at the meet and greet and will be a part of the event.
Nice. When are we going to set up an interview with Renee Michelle?
I will see if I can figure that out. She is actually heading back overseas, so it might be a little bit more time.
That's what I thought. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. No, and that's one of the things I've got to sit back and say, because the ladies division at MCW continues to shine bright all the way across. I have to ask now, I'm going to be nosy. Is there a possibility that you know who she's going to be facing Saturday? Or has go ahead.
Well, like I said, Renee won't be there on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
But we actually crowned a brand new MCW Women's Champion in Brittany Blake, and she will be there on Saturday.
Did not know this part.
Brittany beat Renee Michelle and Kimberly in a three-way dance this past Saturday. It was one of the sleeper hits of the night, and just exactly because of what you said about the women's division in MCW, it is so tremendously full of talent that this became one of the greatest matches of the night. It was such an amazing encounter to see between three competitors, all whom have international experience. It was a great night for women's wrestling.
I believe it, and congratulations to the brand new MCW Women's Champion. Now, I have to put this in play. What is the over-under on the length of time before Ron Simmons manages to get the microphone and say, damn, what's the over-under being set at? 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, what? Or do I need to call Vegas for the official word from Danny Sheridan?
That is a good question. I know that there is... I know he will be a special guest enforcer for a particular match. So I have a feeling we will probably hear it at that time. But I'm hesitant to say at what point in the evening that will be around, or if he will absolutely grab the microphone and shout the word we're all waiting to hear. Because I'm gonna have a moment when I hear it.
Now, let me go ahead and switch gears real quick. And by the way, real quick, ticket price, and availability for this coming Saturday for MCW.
Tickets start at $20 and work on up from there. You can visit us at marylandwrestling.com. Click on tickets. Our Mission Tix link is at bit.ly/MCWTix, TIX. Check it out. You can find out not only information about tickets for this event, but all MCW events.
Very nice. I know that you also had a situation or a full-scale event this past weekend, this past Saturday night, with a Grand Slam, and I want to get to that one in just a second. But we had been covering quite a bit of Tournament of Death from Combat Zone Wrestling.
Yeah.
And I want to go ahead and throw this one out. I want to go ahead and ask. I know you've gotten words. I know that you've been given video. I'm going to ask you the crowning moment for TOD 2016 from Combat Zone. Which one?
The live burial of DJ Hyde.
How did I know? How did I know?
One, I'm very excited that Josh Crane beat DJ Hyde. I am very excited that Ruckus and Robbie Moreno came back with Zandig to help put away the true old man of CZW. What does this mean for the future of CZW? I'm very excited to see that Ricky Shane Page won Tournament of Death. And I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit, because 2 years ago, DJ Hyde wanted nothing to do with Ricky Shane Page or Josh Crane, and Josh Crane beat DJ Hyde, and Ricky Shane Page won Tournament of Death. And I feel very damn special that I was able to get those two people inside of CZW. I'm going to take full fucking credit for it, excuse my language, because it pisses me off how much they had to fight through an idiot like DJ Hyde who didn't want them in the first place. And to see them now accomplish the things that they're doing, I'm so happy and so excited for them.
Congratulations, first off, to Ricky Shane Page. Also, if my notes were correct, I do believe the Bulldozer was the defending champion of Tournament of Death coming out of last year, correct?
Correct. And it was Ricky Shane Page versus Matt Tremont in the finals.
Yeah, and lo and behold, in the bounce back, so to speak, Ricky Shane Page gets a moment of vindication. I have to sit back and say this. I know that it was a Ring of Fire and Wire death match in the main event for Combat Zone's Tournament of Death 15 for 2016. And knowing, and this is something that I can primarily speak of from personal experience, watching the Bulldozer in action in so many different styles of matches. I can only imagine in the darkest recesses of my mind, because I am going to get the VOD on this one, because all I've heard was good thing. All I've heard were good things coming out of this show. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I said for a number of moons. Combat Zone features something for everyone. If you think all it is hardcore, you're wrong, because they bring in premier talent from around the Northeast and around the country. It doesn't have to just be ultra violent. They bring in some great high flyers, some great technical wrestlers. The partnership they have with WSU helps continue to propel women's wrestling into a great spotlight. But like I said, if you missed Tournament of Death 15 from Combat Zone Wrestling, the VOD is available where?
At streamczw.com. Again, that's streamczw.com.
Now, I also want to throw this one out. Speaking of seminars, one of your favorite people in the whole wide world will be teaming up Combat Zone Wrestling with Rockstar Pro Wrestling for Combat Zone Wrestling's tryouts, open tryouts, and seminars. That is going to be on Thursday, July the 7th. Start time 5 o'clock p.m. It is going to be at the Rockstar Pro Arena, 1106 East 3rd Street in Dayton, Ohio. Do you have any more information you want to pass along about that?
It is $25 to participate in this seminar. We've started to do these around. Of course, we have our own CCW and WSU Academy in Blackwood, New Jersey, where you can sign up for an opportunity to attend the academy. But for current workers, current trainees who are interested in showing us what you have to offer, we did this down in Atlanta at WWA4's school. And I mean, we had 50 or 60 people who turned out, and a lot of them showed us so many great things. And to hear those from CCW who were down there, and who were there, and who showed the most, and what did they show, and would you really use any of them? And it's like, yes, and these are the plans to start getting in these folks. We know the depth of talent that is in the Midwest. We know that there is a lot of untapped potential out in the Midwest, and we want to see more of that. We want to see those people that are I don't want to say diamonds in the rough. We want to see people that maybe people haven't heard of yet, people who don't feel that they've gotten this opportunity to showcase themselves the best. Come to this seminar and tryout and show us what you have. Show us how you stand out and what makes you unique. We want to see another turnout. We want to see the Midwest do better than Atlanta did. Let's get 50 people there. Let's get 60 people there. Let's do better than we did in Atlanta. I think this is an exciting opportunity for a lot of really good people.
Now, before we let's go ahead and segue over Grand Slam Wrestling this past weekend. What all happened?
Grand Slam Wrestling had a tremendous event in one of the hottest buildings I've been in for wrestling in a long time, and I mean that temperature-wise. I mean that in all good respect and with good humor. It was such a tremendous night. I'm pulling up all of my results because I know I will miss something if I don't have it directly in front of me.
Right.
And of course, my computer is going to take a day and a half.
Of course it does.
Keita Murray were able to, Keita Murray and Kit Cassidy, the Impeccables, were able to retain their titles over the Brute Squad, Mike Skyros and Jacob Riddick. This was after their leader, Brute Van Slyke, went through 3 competitors. Now, Brute, a couple months ago, cheated his way to get to the heavyweight title match. Then when he was in the heavyweight title match, got some assistance from Kevin the Man Graham. So as their general manager, I made the decision that Brute Van Slyke would not have another title opportunity and would have to start back at the bottom of the pile and have to work his way back up through the rankings. It was supposed to be a punishment to Brute. Brute Van Slyke, who stands 6'4" and about 380, is terrorizing the rankings of Grand Slam Wrestling. He is destroying talent to try to show that he is the dominant force in Grand Slam Wrestling. And he made his way through 3 people to try to prove that. We had a little bit of, I don't even know how to word this, disorganized chaos is the nicest way to put it when it came to we had a 4-way tag team match between Bo Storm, who are Bo Nakota, and Shane Storm, De Consentes, who is Bones and Draconis, the Stamper Task Force, who is Tucker and Dale, of course represented by the president of wrestling himself, that would be me, and then the Falcon Corps, Adam Falcon and Joe Quick, now known as the Takeover. And unfortunately, Bo Storm and the Stamper Task Force, who had a little bit of a run-in last month, maybe things aren't settled as much as I thought they were. They kind of got into it again, fought their way to the back, and the Takeover won. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Mark Hart was unable to completely get by AJ Evers. Of course, that may have to have done with a little bit of an assist from Wild Phoenix, who currently has the Aggro Cup, which gives him the opportunity to vie for any Grand Slam title of his choosing. In the end, Mark Hart walked out of the match. He didn't want to man up, if you want to say. So at the end of the match, Mark Hart really wasn't with it anymore. Everybody wanted Wild Phoenix to cash in his Aggro Cup opportunity, but instead he said no, that he was a true competitor and that he was going to let the champion know that he was going to come at him next month when we return in July, on July 9th at the Music Youth Center at 606 Main Street in Music, Pennsylvania. So next month we will have a title match. He is cashing in his Aggro Cup for that opportunity.
And you said the next one is going to be?
July 9th.
And a lot of fun is going to be had. Mm-hmm. God, can you imagine how crazy July's already going to be with with everything we've got going on? And you know that it's going to be adding. There's so many more shows that are going to be coming up.
It's insane. The quality of wrestling out there is just constantly improving. There's more and more competition. People, if I need to have my soapbox moment, people need to step up. People need to showcase why they are different and why people should be coming back to them month after month after month. And that I think leads to what happened in the main event at Grand Slam with Kevin Graham and Stevie Shields. For the third month in a row, they've absolutely knocked our socks off. Or excuse me, I shouldn't say third month in a row. There was a month, then it was Brute, then it was Kevin again. Kevin beat Stevie last month, and then this was the return match. Stevie was unsuccessful in his challenge to try to get back the heavyweight championship. Kevin, the man Graham, is still, the man. But the quality of their talent is absolutely amazing. It floors me every time I see either one of them in a match, and then to have them together in a match, just such an amazing athletic competition.
Sorry, it was my turn to have a little computer trouble.
Oh.
But I also want to throw this one out, folks. Start making your plans. I'm going to come back over to MCW for a hot second. You made a slight reference to the Shamrock Cup, the Shane Shamrock Memorial Cup, which is coming up on Saturday, July the 16th. People who have not heard about this yet, you have got some very special guests coming in the month of July for MCW. I'll let you do the honors on this one.
The Shane Shamrock Cup is the premier event at Maryland Championship Wrestling, taking place on Saturday, July 16th. This is an event that you don't want to miss. If you want to talk about some of the tournaments with some of the best wrestling talent in the world, this is one of them. This is our 16th Shane Shamrock Cup. This is going to be a tremendous field, and already in non-tournament action, we've already announced the MCW Heavyweight Championship match between Drawlex and MCW Heavyweight Champion King Ryan McBride, and also on hand, wrestling legend Lex Luger and WWE Hall of Famer Sting.
I wonder if they're ever going to acknowledge the fact that Sting has held as many recognized world championships as Ric Flair. 5 minutes after WWE buys TNA, they'll acknowledge it now.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, once again, Saturday, July 16th, definitely mark your calendars, make your plans. Got a couple things I want to hit before we head for the top of the hour break, because I know you said you've got to leave at the top of the hour. Folks, speaking of calendars of events, we got a lot of things going on, and I'm going to lay these out there rapid fire real quick. This weekend, Thursday, June 16th, Arcadian Wrestling comes to McMinnville, Tennessee, at the McMinnville Civic Center, 500 Garfield Street. Also from that vantage point, Friday the 17th, Arcadian will be in Springfield, Tennessee at the Springfield Center, 401 North Main Street. On Saturday the 18th in Gallatin, Tennessee at the Gallatin Civic Center, 210 Albert Gallatin Avenue. From that vantage point, want to let everybody know, number of things going on, set up all the way across the board. On the 16th in McMinnville, there will be a 6-man tag team main event. Moonshine Mantell, Damian Wayne, Chris Michaels taking on the Natural Chase Stevens, Chris Thorne, and Gangrel. In the semi-main event, Mr. 450, a lot of you know who I'm talking about on that one, will be taking on professional wrestling's best-kept secret, Micah Taylor. Wes Briscoe returns to action with Arcadian taking on the VIP Cassidy Riley in a ladies' challenge match. You've seen her on TNA. You have seen her all across the country. Rebel goes one-on-one with probably one of the most gifted performers inside the squared circle. I'm referring to the Island Girl, Tracy Taylor. Bam Bam Malone takes on King Shane Williams. And Houston Carson will be in action this coming Thursday in McMinnville. I'll get it right in a minute. Every once in a while, you know me, I'm going to botch, and that was my botch for this hour. Also, from that vantage point, we've got a lot of Arcadian's got a lot of things going on. I have made the reference to what's happening this coming Saturday, and I'll let everybody know now. Peach State Wrestling Alliance, Carrollton, Georgia, Central Elementary School. Folks, it is going to be a great night for the 8th anniversary show for Peach State Wrestling. Inside a steel cage, actually 2 rings, 1 cage, the survival games. I'm going to be covering that a lot more in depth as the show progresses. Also, this coming Sunday, Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, 2800 Campbellton Road. Bobby and Stan's Most Excellent Tag Team Adventure, AWE, will crown Tag Team Champions this coming Sunday in Atlanta, Georgia, 4 p.m. bell time. Josh Wheeler from AWE slated to join me in the next hour. We are going to have a full rundown of the teams and the brackets for the tag team tournament set for this coming Sunday.
And I hope Josh is okay, and I hope he's ready for this Sunday, because I don't know, he seemed to have been in a mood lately.
And we all know what that means. The fun gets taken to another level. Here's the kicker for this coming Saturday. Before I go any further, and I did not mention this when we let off, and I apologize. If you have us on social media, you've seen the flyer. Beyond Ringside goes on the road this Saturday to Carrollton. We will be doing an exclusive live pre-show from Peach State Wrestling Alliance Stranglehold, the anniversary show. The broadcast will start at 6 p.m. Here's the fun part. The first 30 minutes are going to be before the doors officially open. We're going to get a chance to cover some stuff before, but we're also going to have some exclusive interviews before the doors open. When the doors open at 6:30, we are going to have 2 more interviews, and we're going to carry it up to the top of, through the top of the hour at that point. I'm working on a situation that we may go over, because what we're going to do, we will have live microphones going around. And during one of the 2 interviews that we have during the second segment, when the doors open, you, if you're there, will get a chance to ask questions. So it's not just us doing the interview. You get a chance to ask a question. We'll keep everybody posted. Tune in this Thursday night to the Shooters Gallery, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central. Yours truly, Shane Knowles, Stan Grubb. We're going to have all the information about the live broadcast Beyond Ringside. I really don't want to use game day, but it sounds really good. Match day, definitely. Subject to change? No, we're on the road this weekend. Also, this coming Sunday, be ready, because we will also have a live broadcast immediately following Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment's live event, Bobby and Stan's Most Excellent Tag Team Adventure. I'll give you more information on that as this show and as the week progresses. Phil, I know you've got to run. I'm going to throw a last call your direction, sir. Anything else on your brain that you'd like to cover in particular? And where can everybody find you, my brother?
You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at PSPhenom. That's PSPHENOM. And I have something.
Yes.
I have something that is so up my crawl right now. I'm trying to figure out a nice way to word it. I said something to somebody online. I wrote it. I took it down. I messaged that person directly. In the world of professional wrestling, if we treat wrestling like a business, yes, that the end of the day is to get a payday, to walk out with money in your pocket. And yes, of course, there's ways to do that the right way, the good way, the way that keeps a financial return. But there's a statement of don't work the worker, and sometimes that's used to promoters who do bad business, promoters who promise things. Sometimes, though, I get really annoyed, and this is not me taking a moral high ground, and I can already sense some people maybe going like, "Phil, chill out." Why lie about what you are able to do as a promoter or trainer? Don't say you can train people and teach them lucha libre if you've never been to Mexico and worked a worker who, or excuse me, another wrestler who knows the lucha libre style, or that you can teach pro res, which is the Japanese people sometimes say purosu, that you know that style of wrestling when you've never been to Japan or have wrestled in that style. Don't say that you can teach people that. Don't say that you can teach people how to do commentary when you yourself have only ever cut commentary chewing gum at IWA Mid-South, and it was so loud that you couldn't hear the words coming out of your mouth, when you've also never been on a live broadcast other than a random podcast that maybe 40 people are listening to, that you have never done it for live television, you've never done it for live radio, and that maybe you might have done an in-ring promo here or there that you were passable on. And then try to charge people for said privilege. I that really, really annoys me. And I ask all of you who are in the business, who are looking for a better opportunity, take those opportunities. But when somebody starts saying, well, you need to pay me for the glory to try out, you, my friend, are being worked. I don't want to call this person out. Somebody once said, I was in a ring at a promotion. Well, let's face where it was at. It was in a promotion in West Virginia that is now defunct. An individual was in the ring talking to a trainee and saying, well, you know, sometimes you have to pay your dues. I do not disagree with that statement. Yeah, sometimes that means you have to pay $450 to a promoter in order to get on a show. I wanted to kill that guy, because now not only is he doing the wrong things for himself, he's now trying to feed into the brain of a trainee who doesn't know any better that you have to keep paying after you are trained in order to get onto an event, and not just pay, but pay. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. I have heard promoters say, well, you know, you can't get on, I'm not going to let you get your national wrestling certification if you don't do this and that for me, or pay me this much more money, or whatever. And you know, this national wrestling certification carries weight. It doesn't carry more weight than the paper it's printed on. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. If you don't think you are getting an honest answer, if something in your brain is saying this isn't right or doesn't feel right, you are probably right.
Mm-hmm.
Ask somebody else. Ask somebody with experience in the business. Talk to somebody. Don't just take one person's opinion. Ask a couple people. Do it in a professional, respectful way. May I get your opinion? I have an odd situation. Let me tell you the scenario. Here you go. Please don't put yourself in these kinds of situations. And I just say, for shame on those people who are suckering their brothers and sisters in the business, so that they can try to get more money. I saw something today, and I'm being really good by not saying who it is, because I want to so badly. And put it this way, when I saw it, it made me feel that Global Gold was the most legitimate thing I've seen in the world of professional wrestling in the last year. But you know what? I'll give it this much. Global Gold was at least honest about what it was. Compared to this is nothing but scheming.
Damn.
And it is reprehensible. that people would do this. I'm sorry, and yeah, I'm just gonna say I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop because I feel a hole in the doorway opening, and I know I need to take care of something else. So I will leave it there. Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem, Philip. Well, let's tell you what, we're going to go to the top of the hour, a couple of minutes late, folks. Hang tight when Back to Basics rolls on. Slated to be joined by a good friend of the family, Mr. Josh Wheeler with Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment, right here on Beyond Ringside Back to Basics on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
This is the Dream Killer, Eric Layne, and if you want the very best in professional wrestling, you come watch me. If you want the very best in radio, then you stay right here because you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
This is Merciless Ray Mercer, Olympic gold medalist and board member of Find the Dream, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Motor Fast Eddie Layne as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Hey, radio fans, this is the King of the Southeast, Francisco Chiasso. Hashtag Supreme Slambino. Hashtag Measuring Stick. You are locked in to Back to Basics, Beyond Ringside Radio.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
Well, I'm just sitting here on a typical Saturday. This is your man, the myth, the legend, the ginger with the beard, Gary J. And I just realized it's almost the end of the month. And you know what that means? Rent is due. And I have to pay rent because I want to respect my craft because you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
This is Danny Cage from the world famous Monster Factory, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is the seven-figure deal, Ace Rockwell. And as long as Wicked Nemesis isn't on the show, please listen. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
The product David Starr, also a man of many nicknames, including your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, the cream in your coffee. I've also been called Davey Wrestling from time to time. I'm the 104-minute man, the Jewish canon. You get the picture. I'm really, really awesome. You're listening to ProWrestlingRadio.net.
What's up, everybody? It's Stan Grubb for Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio and the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Hey, join us every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as the triple threat of wrestling radio goes live every week, giving you their thoughts and opinions on the world of professional wrestling. Myself, Brian, and Rob, all live, all here for you. And as my good friend Rob would say, From corner to corner and pillar to post, we bring it to you every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. BeyondRingside.com and ProWrestlingRadio.net.
This is the Crowd Wrestler fan, the 30-day Wills. It's Robbie David. You believe me, you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.